But it can be another thing. Antennas are a form of transducer. The antennas in your phone that are taking radio waves from the sky, literally, and converting it into data that we can read from your phones. That's a type of transducer. But now you're thinking at this point, well, what's the difference between a transducer and a sensor? Well, a sensor has a little transducer in it that captures whatever information that it's trying to detect, and then it basically reports that detection to something else. So it's a little bit of a nuanced difference, but it's an important one.
All right, Dr. Castro, welcome back to another Edge Sound Bytes. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into your dissertation. Last time we kind of ended it off with, how can you feel sound? What is sonic authenticity? But I want to talk about something that tends to be misunderstood, or the term doesn't get discussed a lot, which is what is a transducer? Because everything we do is with transducers, for the most part, but like transducer, the word, it doesn't really mean anything to most people. So what does it mean?
Great question, and that is something that definitely comes up a lot, and usually not something that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So it's typically once you come across that word, you usually associate it with one of two or three different things that you've probably seen before. A common one and something that we're also dealing with a lot are tactile transducers. Tactile in this term means touch or feeling of sensation, and then transducer means, and the word transducer means converts from one energy to another. So in this case, a tactile transducer converts a electrical to a mechanical energy, and it does it in a way that we can detect it with our sense of touch. Tactile transducer. But it doesn't mean to say that that's the only type or form of transducer in the world. A microphone can take acoustic energy, or basically sound waves or pressure waves, and convert it to an electrical signal. And the idea is it's a one-to-one translation. Energy in equals energy out. Usually, if you're detecting very faint pressure waves like sound waves, it's not going to be a strong electrical signal. So microphones need preamplifiers and more energy down the road to amplify that signal, so it's read by computers and stuff like that. But it can be another thing. Antennas are a form of transducer. The antennas in your phone that are taking radio waves from the sky, literally, and converting it into data that we can read from your phones. That's a type of transducer. But now you're thinking at this point, well, what's the difference between a transducer and a sensor? Well, a sensor has a little transducer in it that captures whatever information that it's trying to detect, and then it basically reports that detection to something else. So it's a little bit of a nuanced difference, but it's an important one because we deal with sensors on a daily basis. I think everyone's comfortable with that, but that also means that you're dealing with transducers in a sort of way, and so hopefully that helps demystify it a little bit. It's not so scary of a word for people to jump into.
Let's talk some examples, because while that all sounded great, I think we need to go into a little bit more reference points, so things that people tried before. So let's say that you're at a 4DX movie theater, right? And that seat is moving around. It's actuating, right? So so is that also a transducer that is creating that experience?
That's right. It's taking electrical energy, and a lot of it, and it's converting that to a mechanical motion. Okay. And that motion energy is what then you're experiencing as that 4DX experience.
Got it. And then let's take it back to like old school Nintendo days, Rumble Pack. Is a Rumble Pack also then using transducers to create that vibrational haptic event?
That's right. Yeah, a motor is a great example of a transducer. You're taking, in that case, electrical energy, right, from the controller.
Yep.
Right. There's wires that go into that motor, and that motor then starts to spin an offset weight, and the offset weight is creating this mechanical motion that, if it goes fast enough, it's kind of moving or vibrating in a sense that's it's an off weight kind of feeling to it. So yes, it's a transducer that's translating electrical signal to mechanical motion.
Got it. So there's lots of different transducers out there, a lot of different use cases of transducers, but at the end of the day, it's that switch between electrical to mechanical when it's like energy transference and what that kind of use case is.
On a very abstract sense, you could also say language is also a transducer, because you have a thought that cannot be expressed to somebody else directly, not until I have my way with the lab that I want to build. But you basically have your thought that has to be translated to words, and then words have to then be received by you and translated back to thought. So in a sense, that's also a type of transduction as well.
Well, let's keep it to the physical world. So physical world, there's transducer devices. It's transmitting energy, really, at the end of the day, into whatever use case it has, from motion to feeling to Conversation,
sight,
thoughts,
sound, TV, LED. An LED takes electrical energy, converts it into light wavelength that you can see. Translates that energy. When you think of translating energy, think transducer.
Awesome. Really appreciate you breaking down transducers for us.
For sure.
Awesome.